monarchies and aristocracies, all power of concentrated in the hand of a group of people within society who govern the country. They are not the representative of people. A director like Hitler and Mussolini may be elected by the people at some stage, but once they are in power and formulated policy, they are not meant for the welfare of people. The government cases to be democratic. The simple definition that democracy is in the form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people raise many questions. Who are the rulers? The first question that arises from our discussion that who are the rulers? What kind of election constitute constitute a democratic election? What condition must be fulfilled for an election to be considered democratic? And next question, who are the people who can elect the rulers? Does it include every citizen on an equal basis? Finally, what kind of form of government is democracy? Can elected members do whatever they want in the democracy, or does it function within some limits? So, let's we talk the first and the second elaborated topic, essential features of democracy. Elected representatives. Only the elected representatives should make what they make. They should make law and decide the policies of the government. The final decision of making power must be with those elected by the people. We can take the example of Pakistan when General Pervez Musharraf led the military coup. A democratically elected government was overthrown by him. He became a self-proclaimed chief executive of the country. He changes the designation of the president and in 2002 held a referendum and declared himself president 5 years. This referendum was charged with fraud and malpractices by the Pakistan media and human rights organization. The constitution of Pakistan was amended in 2002 under the Legal Framework Order, which gave power to the president to dismiss the nation and provincial assemblies. A National Security Council supervised the work of the civilian cabinet. The council was dominated by military officers. After this order was passed, elections were held in Pakistan and the elected members to the state and National Assembly were given the same power. But the final power rests with the military officers and General Musharraf, so the elected people cannot influence the policies of the country. As well as we have listened nowadays that somewhere the neighboring country of India has been militated or the chief executive of country has or the military of means the general of military has been assigned himself as a chief executive of the country as we have listened nowadays. Now let's we talk about the second topic, free and fair election, the most essential feature of democracy that we use to vote and make anyone the king for 5 years. That is, voter must be honestly counted. Voters must be honestly counted. They should vote freely without any kind of pressure from those of power. Election should be held regularly and be strictly impartial. As uh, we have already seen this type of feature in those who are implementing or illegally making this feature of fraud. In earlier episode of Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, we see that uh, a member or a neta was fair in the election, and he was having fraud and distributing T2 mobile among the people to buy their votes. So this is not good to be. Actually they actually used to oppose them, and hardly they make this wrong, they prove this wrong. So let's talk about third point of this topic, that is universal suffrage. So the universal suffrage, all adults have the right to vote in the election. In Saudi Arabia, women do not have the right to vote. In Fiji also, the value of every vote is not the same. The newly independent Estonia has a citizenship law that does not grant equal right to people belonging to the Russian minority. They have made it very difficult for them to get voting rights. So, but nowadays the Saudi Arabia has been assigned the women and give them right to vote and right for driving also. So let's talk about the fourth essential feature of democracy, that is right to contest election. That is starting from a line, all adults who fulfill certain conditions should be able to contest election. Citizens should have the right to express their opinion without any fear. They should have the right to criticize, organize, and campaign on public issues. As we already seen every and everyday life, that all the people are going to make this very suffrage, making a very noise about the election commission and the ruling party. So next line is, citizens should have the right to express their opinion without any fear. They should have the right to criticize, organize, and campaign on public issues. The citizens should have a right to access to all information. The government should not have the monopoly. Democracy allows people to follow their own belief and faith. People can openly and freely follow any religion and speak their own language. The right of minorities should not be in any way less than those of the minority or majority. The government does not impose any restriction on the individual freedom. Citizens can travel anywhere in the country, have a residence of their choice, and seek education anywhere. But as in follow days, back days in Jammu and Kashmir, that was having a special constitution, and there was no, I thought, freedom of this type of that we are studying here, that individual anyone can uh, buy field in any state of a country. This rule was not, but after the implementation of 365, that is 35A, it is also a part of constitution, means the constitution is as same as in India, all over India. So let's talk about the fifth and essential feature of democracy, that is the rule of law should prevail. No one can territories to torture those who oppose the government. The military and police have control by the elected representatives of the people. The judiciary is independent. It protects the right of individuals. These are necessary feature of any country as aspiring to be called a democracy. The will of the people is the basis of the government. Democracy demands account- accountability from all authorities, constitutional or otherwise. It includes the legislative, judiciary, and executive. The constitution of the country should provide for all the right institution and procedure needed for a truly democratic country. But a perfect democracy does not exist. See, but the perfect democracy does not exist. No country enjoy all the right needed in a democracy or has institutions which work with equal effectiveness. No country permit all the liberties needed in a democratic nation. Even the most advanced country like France and USA do not offer all the civil liberties to their citizens. So in our next video we will learn about free and fair electoral competition. So goodbye and have a nice day and night also.